Let me ask you something deeply personal. What are you doing with the time that's been loaned to you? Because it is a loan. It's not guaranteed. It's not renewable. You can't buy more of it, and when it's gone, it's gone. You see, we often talk about goals, success, hustle, and dreams. But none of it matters if you don't understand how to master the clock, how to master your time. I want to share a story with you. Years ago, I met a man who told me something that hit me in the gut. He said, Les, if you don't have a sense of urgency about your life, you'll spend your entire life doing things that don't matter. He was right. I was busy. Oh, I was very busy, but not productive. I was running, but I wasn't going anywhere. And the scariest part, I thought I had more time, but I didn't. And neither do you. So today, I want to walk with you on a journey through 9 truths that will help you not only respect time, but to master it. Because once you master the clock, you stop being a prisoner of your past and you start becoming the architect of your future. THCLOKA ISTKNG. EVN MOHIUR not THNG. Let me talk to you straight from the heart. Because this right here is not just about motivation. It's about truth. The kind of truth that will either break you wide open or build you into the version of yourself you've been too afraid to become. Let's get something clear. The clock is ticking even when you're not watching, even when you're sleeping, even when you're scrolling, even when you're stuck in fear, hesitation, or distraction. It doesn't pause for your pain. It doesn't wait for your permission. It doesn't ask if you're ready. It just moves. Quiet, relentless, and final. Most people walk through life like they've been given a lifetime subscription to existence. They treat tomorrow like it's guaranteed. They throw around promises like, I'll start next week. I'll chase that dream next year. I'll get serious when I have more time. But the tragedy is, someday is not a day on the calendar. It's a fantasy, a comforting lie we tell ourselves when we're afraid to face the urgency of now. Let me be real with you. The cemetery, yes, that silent field of stone and soil is full of people who had dreams bigger than yours. People with more talent than you. People with more opportunities. But do you know what else they had? Excuses, delay, fear, comfort. And they thought, just like so many of us do, I've got time. But they didn't. And neither do you. See, every single second you're given is a divine gift, a loan from God that you can't repay, only invest. And the return on that investment, that's your legacy. That's your impact. That's your growth. But you'll never see any of it if you keep sitting on your potential like it'll hatch by itself. Potential doesn't pay you until you work it. And you can't work it if you don't move. I remember a man I once knew, full of wisdom, full of vision. He used to tell me, Les, time is not your friend unless you know how to use it. Otherwise, it becomes your enemy. It steals from you. I didn't understand that back then, but I do now. I see people getting out, hustled by the clock every day because they never learned how to respect it. It's not about being perfect with your time. It's about being intentional. It's about knowing that when the clock ticks, it's not just marking minutes. It's marking missed chances. It's counting wasted potential. It's recording your every excuse. That should scare you, not paralyze you, but wake you up. The clock is not some neutral bystander in your life. It is the most powerful partner or the most dangerous threat, depending on how you treat it. If you make peace with the clock, if you start living in alignment with its rhythm, not fighting it, but flowing with it, you become dangerous. You become focused. You become unstoppable. We live in a world that glorifies business. But what good is being busy if you're not productive? What good is motion if there's no direction? I know people who work 10 hours a day, six days a week, and still aren't building anything meaningful. Why? Because they're chasing smoke. They're not aligned. They're reacting to life instead of designing it. You've got to stop watching the clock and start understanding it. Start partnering with it. Ask yourself, where did my last hour go? What did I do with my last day? How many of my God-given minutes did I waste on things that don't push me forward? This is not about guilt. It's about awakening. It's about taking back control. Your time is the one thing you can't get back. You can lose money and earn it again. You can lose a job and find another. You can lose people and make peace. But once time is gone, it's gone. If there's a dream inside you, start today. If there's a book you need to write, pick up the pen. If there's a vision burning in your heart, stop ignoring the fire, because the clock won't wait for you to believe in yourself. Every tick is a whisper from the universe saying, this is your moment, but only if you own it. There's a version of you that the world needs to see. A version that isn't ruled by fear, by comfort, or by distraction. A version that lives with urgency, not anxiety, but urgency. Because urgency is born from purpose. And when you know what you're here to do, you stop wasting time pretending you don't. So I ask you again, right here, right now, what are you doing with the time that's been loaned to you? Because make no mistake, the clock is ticking, even when you're not watching. And the question is not, do you have time? The question is, are you using it like your life depends on it? Because it does. Purposedriven. When the alarm rings in the morning, what's the first thing that controls your mind? Is it peace, purpose, or pressure? Be honest with yourself. Because most people aren't waking up to a mission. They're waking up to a mess. They're not stepping into their day with vision. They're scrambling to respond to the noise of the world. That's not living. That's surviving. That's reaction, not intention. I want to challenge you right now to stop and reflect. Are you waking up to react, or are you waking up to respond to purpose? Because how you answer, that will determine everything about how you live and how you use your time. Here's what I know. People who don't know their purpose are always running behind. Not just behind schedule, but behind in life. Because they're letting other people write the agenda. They're letting notifications, deadlines, gossip, trends, and tasks dictate their value. They are caught in the trap of responding to pressure instead of rising into purpose. You weren't created to just manage chaos. You were created to create change. But listen to me, it's easy to confuse movement with progress. It's easy to be busy all day and still go to bed feeling empty. Why? Because pressure fools you. It tells you that if you're busy, you're important. That if you're rushing, you're successful. That if your calendar is full, your life must be too. But all of that is a lie dressed up as accomplishment. It's a disguise. It keeps you in cycles that look productive on the surface, but leave your soul starving for something real. Pressure pulls, purpose directs. When you're under pressure, you're being dragged. When you're walking in purpose, you're being led. You see, pressure is loud. It screams in your ear. Hurry up. You're not doing enough. You're falling behind. It keeps you in a constant state of alert and anxiety. It has you glued to your phone, comparing your chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 20. It has you chasing the next urgent thing while the important things, your dreams, your relationships, your personal growth, slowly slip away in the background. But purpose is different. Purpose is quiet. Purpose is steady. It doesn't shout. It whispers. It gently reminds you, this is why you're here. This is what matters. This is where your energy belongs. I've seen so many talented people, brilliant people, burn out, not because they were weak, because they were chasing pressure instead of anchoring themselves in purpose. They were doing things because they felt obligated, not because they were called. And when you keep living like that, day after day, you end up losing yourself. You lose your fire. You lose your joy. You lose your time. That's why mastering the clock starts with mastering your why. You've got to reclaim your schedule and rebuild it around your mission. Not someone else's expectations. Not society's definition of success, but the deep inner conviction that tells you, this is what I was born to do. Look, there's always going to be pressure, bills to pay, emails to answer, people to please. But when you know your purpose, you don't bow to pressure, you prioritize. You make room for what matters most. You stop trying to fit your purpose into the cracks of your day, and you start building your day around your purpose. You've got to set boundaries. Not just to protect your peace, but to protect your calling. Because not every meeting deserves your presence. Not every invitation deserves a yes. Not every crisis is your emergency, and not every opportunity is your assignment. Purpose helps you filter. Purpose helps you focus. I want you to imagine for a moment waking up every day and saying, this is what I was made for. This is why I'm here. Imagine the power, the clarity, the strength that comes from knowing that your time is not being tossed around by demands, but guided by destiny. You are not a machine. You are not a schedule. You are not a collection of tasks. You are a human being with divine significance, and your time deserves to be spent in alignment with that truth. So don't let pressure rob you of your legacy. Don't let urgency distract you from meaning. Don't let the clock run your life. Let your purpose run your clock. From now on, let your schedule reflect who you are becoming, not just what you have to do. Let your time be a declaration of your values, your priorities, and your passion. Because when you stop letting pressure write your story and let purpose take the pen, that's when the masterpiece of your life begins to unfold. And let me tell you, it's going to be worth every second. Doubt doesn't scream. It doesn't make noise like fear. It doesn't chase you like failure. It doesn't burn like regret. At least not right away. Doubt is subtle. It hides behind reason. It speaks with a calm voice. It sounds smart, logical, safe. It's the whisper that says, let's wait a little longer. Let's just be sure. Let's get everything perfect before we move. But make no mistake, doubt is a thief. And the worst kind of thief is the one that steals from you while pretending to protect you. See, one of the most expensive decisions you'll ever make in life is hesitation, not failure. Hesitation. Failure can teach you. Failure can redirect you. But hesitation, it just quietly robs you. Every hour you spend second guessing yourself, every day you spend playing small, every season of your life where you knew you were capable of more, but didn't move because of fear. Those are hours stolen from your destiny. I know because I've lived it. I used to sit in the dark with dreams bigger than I knew what to do with. I'd lie awake at night asking myself, am I ready? Can I really do this? What if I try and fail? What will people think? And while I wrestled with those questions, while I looped around the same fears over and over again, the clock didn't care. It kept ticking. And the opportunity, it kept walking. It moved on to someone with less talent, less experience, less potential, but more courage. You see, the clock doesn't pause for your insecurity. Life doesn't hold the door open forever. Doors close, seasons shift, momentum dies, and when you sit in doubt long enough, you start building a home in hesitation. You start decorating your prison with excuses. You become familiar with the discomfort. It becomes normal to live beneath your potential. But deep down, you know you were made for more than this. That voice inside of you that keeps whispering, you're not ready, is not your truth. It's your fear wearing a mask. And the more you entertain it, the louder it becomes. Doubt doesn't go away because you wait. It goes away because you act. You don't wait for the confidence to show up. You build it through motion. People say, I'm just not sure. But here's what I've learned. Clarity doesn't come from thinking. It comes from doing. You don't discover your path by sitting still. You uncover it one step at a time, one decision at a time, one imperfect action at a time. Waiting for the perfect moment is a lie. There is no perfect moment. There is only this moment. And if you don't use it, you lose it. I've met people who've carried books inside of them for decades. Business ideas, messages, art, solutions. But instead of releasing it, they buried it under layers of what if. And let me tell you something, those what ifs become tombstones for your potential. They don't protect you from failure. They protect you from living. You've got to understand doubt is not humble. It's deceptive. Doubt doesn't keep you safe. It keeps you small. And you can't change the world playing small. You can't fulfill your assignment hiding behind the lie of maybe later. Destiny demands boldness. Destiny demands that you show up shaking if you have to. That you walk into the unknown with your knees knocking, but your heart open. That you take the risk anyway. Because the truth is, you will never feel fully ready. And you don't have to be. The world is not waiting for your perfection. It's waiting for your presence. It's waiting for your action. It's waiting for you to stop negotiating with fear and start partnering with faith. And faith is not about having no doubt. It's about moving forward despite it. So, the next time doubt creeps in, don't sit with it. Don't reason with it. Don't wait it out. Move, make the call, start the page, launch the project, speak up, apply, begin. Because action builds belief and motion creates momentum. Every step you take silences doubt's voice a little more. Every decision you make in the direction of your dream reclaims the hours doubt tried to steal. Let me tell you something that might just change your life. You are more ready than you think. You are more capable than you believe. And you are right on time. If you decide to act right now, don't let another hour be wasted in the waiting room of someday. Your destiny is not in the distance. It's in your decision. Make the choice to trust the pull. Make the choice to move with purpose. Make the choice to break free from hesitation and reclaim your time. Because every hour spent in doubt is an hour stolen from your destiny. And you've come too far to keep giving it away. S-C-H-E-D-U-L-A-Y-U-R-G-R-A-T-S. Let me tell you something that might shake you a little if it's not on your calendar. It's not real. That dream you keep talking about, that business idea, that book, that fitness goal, that life-changing move. It's not real if you haven't carved out space in your day to build it. Because greatness doesn't live in your imagination. It lives in your schedule. You want to know the difference between the dreamers and the doers. It's not talent. It's not resources. It's not even timing. It's discipline. It's structure. It's the person who decides that their future is worth protecting time for. On purpose, with purpose, and without apology. I meet people all the time who tell me what they're going to do. They've got the vision. They've got the passion. They've got the hunger. But what they don't have, what they're missing, is the plan. The daily intentional rhythm that says, at this time, on this day, I will take a step toward my greatness. And without that rhythm, without that structure, they're not running toward their destiny. They're just chasing shadows. See, you can't master the clock with a head full of dreams and a life full of chaos. You can't create impact if your days are full of distractions. You can't grow into the person you were born to be if you keep winging it every day. You've got to schedule your greatness like it's the most important appointment of your life, because it is. Let's stop sugarcoating it. Time is a battlefield. The moment you wake up, everything is fighting for your attention. Your phone, your emails, your obligations, your habits. And if you don't decide where your time goes, someone else will. That's why your schedule isn't just a calendar. It's a statement of identity. It reflects your values. It reveals what you prioritize. It shows who you're becoming. I know you're busy. We all are. Life is full. But the truth is, you make time for what matters most. You make time to eat. You make time to scroll. You make time to binge, watch. You make time for your job, your bills, your distractions. So don't tell me you don't have time to build your dream. What you don't have is alignment. What you don't have is a plan that puts your purpose on the clock. It's time to change that. It's time to protect sacred space in your life, not just for work, but for the real work. Time to think, time to pray, time to read, time to strategize, time to imagine, time to break old patterns, time to stretch your mind, time to study your craft, time to become a better version of you. You see, most people only schedule what's urgent. The meetings, the deadlines, the dentist appointments. But the great ones, the ones who leave legacy, they schedule what's important. They schedule growth. They schedule quiet. They schedule the process that greatness demands. I want you to start seeing your calendar like a blueprint. Every slot on that page is a brick in the house you're building. Are you constructing a life that reflects your dreams, or are you just reacting to what shows up? Because if you're not careful, your schedule becomes a mirror of someone else's agenda, not your vision. That's why you need to guard your mornings. You need to own your evenings. You need to build in time that no one else can touch. Not your job, not your phone, not your stress. Time that's set aside for you and what you're here to do on this earth. It's not selfish. It's not indulgent. It's necessary. Because what good is it to spend your whole life meeting everyone else's needs and never meeting your own calling? You were not born to run on fumes. You were born to run with fire, and that fire needs fuel. That fire needs time. Start small if you have to. 30 minutes a day, 1 hour. Put it on the calendar. Make it non-negotiable. Say to yourself, this is the time I invest in me, in my vision, in my healing, in my creativity, in my legacy. And then show up like it matters, because it does. Here's the beautiful part. When you schedule your greatness, you don't just build your dream. You become the kind of person who follows through. The kind who honors commitment. The kind who respects time. And most importantly, the kind who takes full ownership of their life. Because the clock doesn't just respond to motion. It responds to intention. It responds to the person who says, I will not let another day pass without making progress toward my purpose. So schedule it. Block it off. Protect it. Build your life around what matters most. Because if it's not scheduled, it's not real. And your greatness is too real to leave it to chance. Let's not dance around this one. Procrastination is a liar. And not just any liar. It's the kind that looks you in the eye, speaks soft, and makes you feel good while slowly robbing you blind. It doesn't scream. It doesn't rage. It whispers. It seduces. It convinces you that you're okay as you are, that you'll do it later, that you've got time. It's not aggressive. It's reasonable, and that's what makes it so dangerous. Just 5 more minutes. Start tomorrow. You're too tired today. You've got time. You're not ready yet. Sound familiar? That's the voice of procrastination, the smooth, talking thief of potential. It shows up like a friend, but it's really a silent killer. It doesn't take your dream in one blow. It takes it by inches, one skipped task, one delayed decision, one missed opportunity at a time. And I want to tell you something straight from the soul. Every time you delay, you betray your destiny. Let that sink in. You're not just avoiding work. You're not just being lazy. You're not just postponing a task. You are betraying the version of you that you keep saying you want to become. The version that is waiting for you to show up with action, not excuses. You know the one I'm talking about. The focused you. The disciplined you. The successful, transformed, unstoppable you. Yeah, that version. They're counting on you. And every time you listen to the voice of procrastination, you're telling that version of yourself, you're not worth the discomfort. And let me tell you something. Growth only happens through discomfort. Procrastination wants you to stay comfortable. It says, relax. It says, you've done enough. It gives you permission to settle when you know deep down you're made for more. And if you don't fight that voice, if you don't confront it with the fire of your vision, it will lull you to sleep until your entire life becomes a graveyard of unfinished business. Don't you get it? Procrastination doesn't just affect your goals. It affects your identity. Because every time you say later, you reinforce the belief that you can't trust yourself, that your word to yourself means nothing, that you don't follow through. And that becomes who you are, not because it's who you were meant to be, but because you allowed it through repeated delay. You have to understand the life you want is on the other side of the thing you're avoiding. And the longer you wait, the more it costs you. Not just time, but confidence, integrity, belief, energy, purpose. You think putting it off makes it easier. No, it makes it heavier. That call you've been avoiding, that workout you keep skipping, that project you haven't started, that conversation you need to have, it doesn't disappear. It doesn't dissolve. It builds weight. And the longer you avoid it, the more it owns you. So you've got to decide, are you here to stay comfortable or are you here to change your life? Because you can't have both. If you want to master the clock, you have to master yourself. And that starts by refusing to negotiate with the part of you that's okay with standing still. You see, Procrastination doesn't respond to reasoning. You can't sit there and try to talk it into submission. The only thing that shuts it up is action. You silence the voice of later by saying now. You kill the excuse by showing up. You build self-trust not through motivation, but through motion. Daily, steady, committed motion. Will it be uncomfortable? Of course. Will you want to quit? Absolutely. But listen to me. The price of short-term discomfort is nothing compared to the price of long-term regret. You've got dreams that didn't come to you by accident. You've got talents that were given to you for a reason. You've got a life that's not just meant to be lived. It's meant to be built. And the only way you build it is one uncomfortable, intentional, disciplined action at a time. No more later. No more. When I feel ready. No more tomorrow. Make today the line in the sand. Make today the moment you stop being a prisoner of your feelings and start being the leader of your future. When procrastination whispers, you shout louder with action. Because if you want to live a life that most people only dream of, you've got to be willing to do what most people never will. Be uncomfortable now. Be disciplined now. Be focused now so you can live the life they'll never touch. Because while they waited, you worked. And that is how you win. Yawar for I oyu orao. We live in a world that loves the dramatic. We celebrate the big wins, the flashy turnarounds, the grand transformations. We love the story of someone who went from zero to hero overnight. But let me tell you something powerful and maybe even a little uncomfortable. Your future is not hiding in a miracle. It's hiding in your routine. That's right. Not in the once in a lifetime event. Not in the breakthrough moment you're waiting for. Not in some future opportunity you're hoping will fall into your lap. It's right there. In the little things you do every single day. The small decisions, the quiet disciplines. The habits you think no one sees. You don't become successful at once. You become successful every day. And the raw material of your future is found in the way you live out your ordinary days. You want to know where your future is? It's in the way you wake up. It's in the first thought you feed your mind. It's in the way you treat your time in the first hour of your morning. Do you grab your phone and scroll through everyone else's life? Or do you sit still, focus, speak life over your own? Because that first hour, that's your command center. That's where you decide whether you'll respond to life or whether you'll lead it. People are waiting for the right time, waiting for inspiration, waiting for momentum. But what they don't realize is momentum is built through routine. And your routine is a daily vote for the kind of person you're becoming. Every habit, every ritual, every repeated behavior. It's shaping your identity, your results, your trajectory. And listen to me, it's not about perfection. It's about consistency. Success doesn't come because you crushed it one day. It comes because you showed up on the days you didn't feel like it. It comes because you built habits that held you up when motivation disappeared. Let's be real. Motivation will leave you. Life will distract you. Emotions will betray you. But discipline, routine, those are your anchors. When life gets chaotic, when things fall apart, when the pressure rises, it's your routine that either saves you or breaks you. You can't master the year if you can't master the day. You can't master the day if you can't own your morning. And you can't own your morning if you're still living by accident instead of by design. Let me tell you something personal. There was a time in my life when everything felt overwhelming. I had goals, but no structure. I had potential, but no process. And I kept wondering why I wasn't moving forward. Why it felt like I was spinning in circles. Until someone told me something I'll never forget. Luz, you don't need a bigger dream. You need a better routine. And that hit me hard because I realized I had been idolizing the end result, but ignoring the road that leads there. I was obsessed with the outcome, but careless about the input. I kept looking for a breakthrough moment, but the truth is, breakthrough is built, not found. It's built in the choices you make when nobody's watching. It's built in how you speak to yourself when you wake up. It's built in what you feed your mind. It's built in the priorities you put on the calendar. It's built in the way you treat the hours you're given. And the hours don't lie. They'll tell you everything about your future. Your goals are not about what you hope to do. They're about what you actually do. So, what does your daily routine say about where you're headed? If someone watched your habits for a week, would they see a person who is chasing greatness or someone who is still negotiating with excuses? This is not to shame you. It's to awaken you. Because the power you're looking for is already in your hands. It's in your ability to make one small change today, one shift in your routine, one new habit, one intentional decision to wake up differently, to think differently, to act like your time matters. Because it does. You don't need a new year to change your life. You need a new routine. You don't need permission to get serious. You need commitment. You don't need more time. You need to use it better. Master the morning and you'll master the month. Master the day and you'll master the year. And when you master the routine, your future becomes inevitable. So if you've been waiting for the breakthrough, stop. It's already here. It's in your hands. It's in your routine. Build it wisely. Build it with fire. And don't ever forget, your future is not far off. It's in your next decision. Time do lesson TAL, ITRVLs. They say, just give it time. Time heals all wounds. But let me tell you something from experience, from real life, from watching people I love and walking my own painful path. Time does not heal all wounds. That's a lie we've been told to keep us comfortable, to make us feel like if we just sit still long enough, the pain will pack its bags and leave on its own. But it doesn't, because time only heals what you're willing to face. Time by itself doesn't fix you. It doesn't mend broken hearts. It doesn't restore shattered confidence. It doesn't dissolve trauma. Time doesn't have a healing agent inside of it. What it has is a spotlight. Time reveals. It uncovers what's been buried. It magnifies what's been ignored. It makes louder the voices in your head you've tried to silence. It doesn't erase the past. It exposes it. You've probably seen it in your own life. Maybe you went through something years ago, a heartbreak, a betrayal, a failure, and you thought it was behind you. But then something small happened, something unexpected, and suddenly all those old feelings came rushing back like they never left. Why? Because they didn't. They were sitting there the whole time. Time didn't heal it. It hit it. And now that wound is still there, just deeper under the surface. I've met people in their 50s, 60s, even 70s still walking around with the pain of something that happened when they were 10, 15, 20. And they'll say, I thought I was over that. No. They just never did the work. They thought time would be enough. They thought ignoring it would be healing. But ignoring is not healing. It's avoiding. And what you avoid doesn't disappear. It grows in the dark. Listen, pain that isn't processed becomes a pattern. If you don't deal with what hurt you, you start living out of that wound. You bleed on people who didn't cut you. You sabotage blessings you prayed for. You build walls instead of bridges. You doubt your worth. You shrink in relationships. You act out in fear when all you ever wanted was to feel safe. All of that because you let time pass, but you didn't do the work. That's why I say mastering the clock isn't just about your calendar. It's about what's going on inside of you. Because you can be punctual, efficient, productive, and still broken. You can have your day scheduled to the minute and still be running from the truth that your soul is acting. And what good is it to manage your time if you're mismanaging your heart? If you've been hurt, if you've been disappointed, if life has knocked you down, don't wait for time to fix it. Use your time to heal. That's active. That's intentional. That's courageous. It might mean journaling. Getting those thoughts out of your head and onto paper where you can see them for what they are. It might mean therapy. Talking it through with someone who's trained to help you unearth what's been buried. It might mean prayer, giving the weight of your pain to God and letting Him hold what you've been carrying for far too long. It might mean quiet, stillness, space. Letting yourself feel instead of numb. Letting the tears come if they need to. Letting the anger move through you without destroying everything around you. And yes, it's uncomfortable. Healing always is. Facing what hurt you is painful. It feels vulnerable. It feels like weakness. But let me tell you something. It's the most powerful thing you can do, because people who are brave enough to face their wounds are the ones strong enough to live free. Don't confuse the passing of time with the processing of trauma. You can't heal what you won't feel. You can't release what you won't name. And you can't move forward when part of you is still stuck in a moment you refuse to deal with. This is why some people repeat the same cycles for decades. Different jobs, different cities, different relationships, but the same broken patterns. Why? Because they're not living in the present. They're reacting from the past, trapped in a time capsule of unhealed pain. You want to grow. You want to transform. You want to stop reliving the same old pain in new situations. Then don't waste time. Use it to feel, to ask hard questions, to forgive, to let go, to apologize, to rebuild, to become. Let time work with you, not against you. Let it stretch you, not numb you. Let it be the container for your healing, not the excuse for your delay. Because if you don't choose to deal with what's in your heart, your future will be built around your wounds instead of your wisdom. And you deserve better than that. You deserve wholeness, freedom, peace. But none of that happens by accident. It happens on purpose. It happens when you decide to stop waiting and start working on what really matters. Time is not your healer. You are. God is. Truth is. Courage is. And they're all available to you right now. So the next time someone tells you time heals all wounds, smile and remember, only if you do isbyltbythe now te monumenteus. When people think of legacy, they picture statues, awards, buildings named after them, a best-selling book, a headline, a standing ovation. They imagine something huge, something permanent, something the world can't miss. But I want to tell you something today that might just change your life legacy isn't built in marble. It's built in moments, quiet moments, ordinary minutes, everyday decisions. We've bought into the lie that legacy is a final chapter, that it comes at the end of our lives when all is said and done, and the world looks back at what we've accomplished. But that's not how it works. Legacy isn't what you leave behind when you die. It's what you live every single day. It's how you treat your child when you're exhausted and don't feel like talking. It's how you respond to the person who cuts you off in traffic. It's how you speak to your spouse when they've disappointed you. It's the tone you use with a stranger. It's the kindness you offer when no one's watching. It's the promises you keep when no one would know if you broke them. That's your legacy. You don't wait to build it. You don't earn it at the end. You craft it minute by minute, choice by choice, word by word. And here's the most powerful part. You're building it right now. Whether you realize it or not. Whether you mean to or not. Whether you like it or not. You are writing your legacy every day by how you show up. We live in a culture that's obsessed with milestones. What have you accomplished? How much have you made? What have you done that the world can see? But legacy isn't built in the spotlight. It's built in the shadows. It's the quiet consistency, the love that doesn't ask for attention, the strength that holds steady under pressure. You see, legacy is not made by what you achieve. It's made by who you are. You could build the biggest business in the world and lose your family in the process. You could write a book that changes lives, but mistreat the people who love you the most. You could donate millions to charity, but speak to yourself like you're worthless. That's not legacy. That's performance. Legacy is about impact that starts with integrity. And integrity shows up in the smallest spaces. In the way you follow through on your word. In the way you do the right thing when it's hard. In the way you live with intention, even when no one sees the result. You want to build a legacy that lasts. Start by being excellent in the things that don't seem to matter. The daily habits. The quiet disciplines. The tough conversations. The apology you owe. The prayer you whisper when you're alone. The way you carry yourself when things don't go your way. Because the truth is, the people who will remember you most, your children, your friends, your spouse, the people whose lives you touch deeply, won't care how many awards you won. They'll remember how you made them feel. They'll remember the look in your eyes when they needed reassurance. They'll remember whether your words lifted them or crushed them. They'll remember whether you were present. And the moments you thought were too small to matter, they mattered most. I want you to understand this. Every minute is an opportunity to leave a mark. Not someday. Not when you've made it. But today. Right now. You build your legacy not when people are clapping, but when it's just you and the clock, and you choose intention over autopilot. Compassion over convenience. Discipline over distraction. That's how you become someone the world won't forget. Not because of your monuments, but because of your minutes. So don't wait for some big moment to define your life. Stop waiting for the perfect time to start showing up fully. Live today like it matters, because it does. Live like your minutes count, because they do. Let the way you speak reflect the kind of soul you carry. Let the way you lead reflect the values you believe in. Let the way you love reflect the purpose you were born for. Because your legacy is not a moment. It's a lifetime of moments. Stacked one on top of another. Built with care. Built with faith. Built with love. You want to be remembered? Then live now with the kind of integrity that speaks even after you're gone. Because when all is said and done, it won't be the monuments people remember. It'll be the minutes. And what you did with them. Tiem favars the ralles. There's a myth floating around, a dangerous one. It tells us that if we want to win with time, we have to be fast. We've got to sprint, hustle, move at lightning speed, beat the clock, outwork everyone. And so we burn ourselves out trying to live faster instead of living deeper. But let me break it to you gently and honestly. Mastering time has nothing to do with speed. It has everything to do with relentlessness. The people who win in life aren't the ones who move the fastest. They're the ones who move the most consistently. They're not obsessed with bursts of energy. They're anchored in daily discipline. They don't burn bright and burn out. They burn steady. They show up when it's boring. They stay focused when it's hard. They do the work when it's no longer exciting. And that's why they win. You see, intensity is sexy. It's dramatic. It makes headlines. He lost 50 pounds in 2 months. She built $1 million business in a year. It's the kind of story that sells. But what they don't tell you is what came after. What happens when the rush fades? What happens when the fire dims? What happens when the applause stops? The people who truly succeed, the ones who finish what they start, who build real lives, who stand tall at the end of the race, are not the intense. They are the relentless. Because relentless people don't need hype. They rely on habits. They're not chasing dopamine. They're chasing discipline. They don't wait to feel motivated. They're anchored in meaning. They're not chasing fireworks. They're focused on foundation. And listen to me. Time notices. Time doesn't reward the ones who do the most. It rewards the ones who do the right things daily. Time doesn't ask if you were loud. It asks if you were loyal. Loyal to your mission. Loyal to your values. Loyal to your vision. Because at the end of the day, progress is built on repetition, not revelation. It's not about having one big idea. It's about building the small actions that bring it to life. You want to write a book. It's not going to get done in one caffeine-fueled weekend. It's written in stolen hours, in quiet mornings, in tired nights where you write one more paragraph even when your eyes are burning. You want to transform your body. It's not about that one hard workout. It's about showing up on the days you'd rather quit, making that healthy choice over and over until it becomes who you are. You want to become someone powerful, someone focused, someone fulfilled. That's not built in a flash of emotion. That's built by showing up every single day, especially on the days when it's tough. Relentless means doing what matters even when you're tired, even when it's raining, even when nobody sees you, even when progress feels invisible. That's the secret right there. The relentless know how to keep going when the results aren't showing, because they don't need to see progress today. They believe in it tomorrow. They trust the seed even when there's no fruit. They trust the process even when they can't feel the promise. They keep swinging. They keep stepping. They keep rising. And you've got that in you too. You've got the ability to be relentless. You've got the power to decide, right now, I will not stop showing up for my life. Even when it's hard, even when no one claps. Even when it's just you, your dream, and the clock ticking. Because relentlessness doesn't just change your calendar. It changes your character. It forges strength in your spirit. It teaches your mind that excuses are irrelevant. It trains your body to move when your emotions say rest. It creates a lifestyle of impact, not just flashes of effort. And the best part, you don't need to be perfect to be relentless. You don't need to feel powerful. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to decide, every day, I will keep going. So stop chasing speed. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop measuring your worth by what's finished. Start being relentless about what matters most. Do it when you're scared. Do it when you're unseen. Do it when you're unsure. And do it again tomorrow. Because time doesn't favor the fastest. Time favors the faithful. Time blesses the one who keeps showing up. And that, my friend, is you. You've got the grit. You've got the calling. You've got the time. Now go prove that you've got the relentlessness to match. Says Odo and IT. So let me ask you again, what are you doing with the time that's been loaned to you? Because the truth is you don't find time. You take it. You don't manage it. You master it. And you do that by respecting every second like it holds your destiny inside of it. Because it does. You want to build something that lasts. You want to break through. You want to go from average to unstoppable. Then master the clock. Don't let another hour be stolen by fear, laziness, doubt, or distraction. You've come too far. You've survived too much. And this moment right here, this is the moment when your story shifts. This is where the clock no longer controls you because you own it. So stand tall. Take a deep breath. And from this moment on, run your race like the clock is your servant, not your master. And live every second like your future depends on it. Because it does. You've got greatness in you. Now go prove it minute by minute.